What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hoop Portal. Duke and Tennessee played tonight in an exhibition game in Knoxville. Duke won 83 to 76, shooting 37% from three and 92% from the free throw line. And another big stat is they out rebounded Tennessee by 9. Cam Boozer led the way. He had 20 and 20, which is really impressive by any college player, let alone a freshman. Jakobi Gillespie for Tennessee had 19 points and 8 assists. They had 9 different players score for Tennessee tonight. It's a good game to watch. Another feel like the BYU UNC game. We get it's an exhibition, but it does feel like it means a little bit more. And to kids, if you guys remember being that age, to kids, any game is any game, right? Like they're going to be up to play. They're going to be ready to go. They're not going to care that it's exhibition or that it doesn't matter, anything like that. The coaches are going to be up for it. They're going to take it as an opportunity to get better. The players were into it. There was a lot of people there. It seemed like it was packed out. Really good feel. Great for exhibition game. I hope they keep doing these. The difference here is that Duke shot 27 threes. In the first half, they went with 16. The second half, they went with 11. The difference in that second half when they went on that run is that they started to really pound it inside and stop settling so much for threes. We understand what Duke's system is going to be. They're going to get a lot of threes up. BYU did it. Tennessee did it. Tennessee shot 26. I think BYU shot 25 the other night as well. And so we know that this is what they're going to do. But at the end of the day, the easiest shots in basketball are layups and free throws. And that's what Duke was able to get in that second half. They went 20 times to the free throw line compared to just 7 in the first half. And incredibly, they made all 20 for 20 in the second half, 5 for 7 in the first. I was really impressed with both teams. Tennessee seems to have found another great point guard after Ziegler left. Jakobi Gillespie looked legit, had some knucklehead plays, what we would call them, but again, really solid. The player that impressed me the most tonight, though, for Duke was outside of Boozer, obviously, was Patrick Ngongba. I think there was a question mark for a lot of Duke fans in this program as how he would develop. Could he get his body right? Could he stay healthy? And tonight, he looked great defensively and offensively. Again, a couple fouls that you wish he just wouldn't have. I think he tripped one person at midcourt. But again, he looked a lot better physically and mentally than what he did last year, coming off that high school injury. The question I have for Duke, though, is if he does get in foul trouble or he does have to use these rotational minutes, where does Duke go with the size? These non-conference games are going to be really important for them because the ACC might not be able to give them that test on a night-to-night basis. We'll see what UNC looks like in NC State and Virginia and Louisville, but Duke is not going to have those heavy hitters on a night-to-night basis of programs such as UConn, Kentucky, St. John's. Their non-con schedule is really tough again. One point I did want to get on. Duke went with this lineup of Foster, Evans, Sarr, who I really like a lot. I think he's just super raw right now. Boozer and Ngongba. And you can tell that the length and the size and the physicality of that group was really difficult for Tennessee to deal with. There was a stretch they almost went for. There was a stretch where they went almost 8 minutes without scoring or without a made field goal. Sorry. But all in all, really good exhibition game that I think was even bigger, you could say, for Shire and that staff. If you remember his first year at Duke, they lost to Tennessee in the second round. Now, obviously, the teams are much different now, but Shire's able to say, okay, this is a program that is consistently really tough, consistently really physical. I remember watching them at Carolina a couple of years ago, too, and just being amazed at the size and physicality of that group. And in the back of Shire's head, this is a program that, hey, they gave me my first loss in the tournament. Can I take a group to Knoxville, even if it is exhibition? Can I take a group to Knoxville and say, look, we have the horses to match you guys physically? And they won. And it wasn't pretty, but the team went on a run. They made those adjustments, and that's what you like to see. So it's really good for the staff as well, just even for something like that. Duke lost games last year that were similar to this, where they couldn't quite close it out. One thing didn't go their way. The execution wasn't great. Tonight they look solid, especially from that second half on. It seems like they addressed some things in the offseason, which is kind of crazy to say for a team that had the number 1 pick in the NBA draft and made a Final Four and was really close to going to a national championship. Their biggest question is depth inside, and if they're going to have, and if they can stay healthy. Getting Malik Brown back will be another just huge addition piece, not only offensively, but mainly defensively. They should have a solid year. I think we kind of know what we're going to get out of Duke. What I'm not understanding is why so many people in the media seem to be down on Tennessee this year. I get they're still ranked and they're 18th, but this is a team that I think could win the SEC, and in the SEC is not going to be as deep as they were last year. To me, at worst, they're top 3, top 4. I really like their roster. They're well coached. They're going to be physical. It's not going to be quite a gauntlet as it is last year. I think Tennessee is going to have a really solid year. I think they could win the conference regular season. They could win the conference tournament. But all in all, really good game. Really glad to see these. Look, NCAA at this point, you know you're running this stuff just like the NBA with these preseason games, the NIL stuff. Just make it a minor professional league at this point. Get the contracts in, fix NIL, fix the transfer portal. We know what's going on. Let's not pretend it's not there. We love it, but just be honest about it. Get your comments in. What do you guys think of the game? How high is the ceiling for both of these teams? I don't think either team necessarily is really, to me, an early season national champion contender. Now, contender means something different to everybody, but that group that I would say that first tier of these are the teams that I think will win the national championship. Duke and Tennessee is not quite in that tier. They're right there at that capability of making a run. But you guys get in the comments. Let me know what you think their ceiling is. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.